What's up? Welcome back to the Peacefully Wired YouTube channel, or the YouTube channel for Peacefully Wired. My name is Matt, aka Peacefully Wired, your OCD coach. And in this video, I wanted to talk about um, checking your looks, looking in the mirror, the reflection, always trying to look a certain way. A lot of this ties in with body dysmorphia, always having to look a certain way so you can feel a certain way. There's also a fear of rejection in there. If I'm not always looking my best, somebody's going to see me and they're going to judge me. It could interfere with the opposite sex, same sex, whatever you're into. You getting a date, you finding the one, business, friends, just people, just in general. Just some stranger, looking at you because you got a stain on your shirt or something in your teeth, and then you're not being able to deal with that essential rejection or their judgment, right? So before I go any further, please like, subscribe, comment down below, good or bad. Let me know what you guys think about the content and what kind of content would you like me to do. Anything about OCD, depression, and anxiety, I can help and do some content on anything that you want covering those things. So the reason why I wanted to do this video too is because I did a short about stop looking in the mirror, stop trying to make sure that your hair is always in the right place, stop checking out your figure. Stop tugging, tugging at your fat along your waistline, or looking at your arms, or making, if you're someone who hits the gym a lot, looking at yourself a lot in the mirror, selfies in the mirror, right? Taking those shots of you in the gym, and all that kind of stuff. Nothing inherently wrong with it. Super vain. A lot of it's very conditional, needing to look a certain way, needing to project that you look a certain way. Again, so you can project that image so that you can feel a certain way, like uh, really caring about your looks as if looks matter. Looks don't really matter. They do to a certain extent. I mean, if we're talking about, people in industries where their appearance is a part of what they do for a living, but overall, looks are just an aspect of you. And if you put a lot of stock and importance in what you look like, and you need to look a certain way all the time because you're concerned about rejection, that is a recipe for disaster, especially if you have OCD, and if you have body dysmorphia. This doesn't just happen. This doesn't just have to be people that have OCD. People without OCD can have body dysmorphia, serious body dysmorphia. And something that I've struggled with in my life and I've really had to work on is looking at myself in the mirror, looking at my body, looking at the way I look in clothes, checking my reflection in the car windows, and reflections in buildings and windows, right? Always, going to the bathroom when I'm in the bathroom, making sure like my hair looks okay, right? It would take me a long time to even do my hair in the morning. Grooming myself, right? Making sure like everything's even. Um, there's an eyebrow out of place, right? All this kind of stuff, nothing inherently wrong with it. But if you have OCD or you have body dysmorphia and you are having any issues with the way that you look, the way that you're presenting to the world, and needing to feel like everything's intact so that you can feel perfect or okay, right? Or that just right feeling is a problem. And I did a video, and the video I said, stop looking at yourself in the mirror, take the risk that you might have a stain on your shirt, take the risk that you might have something in your teeth, take the risk that the hair is out of place, right? All of these things were things that I had a total intolerance of. Okay, if I was out in the day, this is when I was younger. Now, even I'm older, and I own a business with my wife, and I have to go into businesses and talk to people. Having a stain on my shirt could reflect really poorly on me if I don't have a shirt with me. But it's a really great shame exercise. Yes, could it affect me getting a deal with somebody because I might have a little bit of food on my shirt, or I might have something in my teeth, right? Maybe my hair is a little out of place, whatever. Maybe. Best thing for me though is to go into those situations and really not care, because a lot of times a stain on your clothes is not as bad as you think it is, right? Unless you've spilled like a bunch of coffee all over you, big ketchup stain, whatever, something like that. The thing is that people are more understanding than you even realize. And if you're someone like me who's out about doing walk-ins all day long, people are more understanding of me potentially dropping some food on my shirt than I would actually want to believe. Well, because I have more acceptance now, unconditional acceptance. If somebody is going to reject me because of that, I deal with that, right? So The post was about that. Take the risk. It's okay. It's better for you to actually come out of those situations with the intrusive thoughts, the uncomfortable feelings that somebody's rejecting you, laughing at you, you embarrassed yourself, sitting with that, letting it be there, breaking down those beliefs later about why is it so bad to be embarrassed? Why is it so bad to be rejected? Why is it so bad if people laugh at me? There's nothing bad, any inherently bad about any of those things. People get laughed at all the time. People get made fun of all the time. It doesn't affect their life. They don't have to make sure and optimize that every second of their lives that they're perfect so that no one can ever make fun of them. I mean, people make fun of people that are seemingly perfect, right? You're never gonna live your life. You're never gonna go the span of your existence on this planet and no one's gonna make fun of you, right? People make fun of people that are the nicest people in the world. People make fun of the people that are the most talented. People make fun of people that are the most attractive. People get made fun of. People make fun of people that look funny, walk funny, talk funny, whatever. So you're never going to avoid that. The best thing you can do is accept that people are going to make fun of you, and it's not that big of a deal, okay? And so in this post, somebody actually commented on the post that I did and said, I actually have severe OCD, and I avoid looking in the mirror. And so, basically, I just commented and said, look, it's really important for you to understand the difference between not looking in the mirror to get a feeling, to make sure to get a feeling of certainty and reassurance that you look okay so that you're not going to be rejected, because that's what your belief is. First is that being rejected is the worst thing. And you have the belief that as if I present myself the best way every single time, that gives me the best opportunity to never get rejected. And I mean, I get rejected every single day going in and out of businesses, and I look pretty good. I have nice clothes on. I'm well groomed. I'm from what other people tell me, I'm a fairly attractive guy. So I'm big. I have stature. I have a presence. All of those things, and I get rejected constantly. So it doesn't. You can look the best you want to look, and essentially you're going to get rejected. Even the most attractive people in the world get rejected by somebody. It just is the way that it is. But this person obviously was telling me that they have some body dysmorphia issue, right? So you can have the body dysmorphia to where you always have to look a certain way, you always have to look good. Maybe you look good, and you have such a belief and a concern and a fear about not looking good or not looking your best, and that you're going to get rejected. That can actually distort the way that you view your body. I remember I used to date a girl who was rail skinny, just thin, skin and bones almost. And she would say things like, I'm fat. And I would be like, what are you talking about? You are not even anything close to being fat, right? And, she obviously had a body dysmorphia issue to where, just a little bit of fat on her body for her was fat. And I've experienced the same thing, right? And it causes us to see ourselves in a different way than other people see us, right? I can remember being at one point a lot bigger than I am now, and people would tell me, "Oh, you look great," and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm fat. Like if you looked under this, I got a big old belly and this and that," and they'd be like, "Well, you wear it really well." Because I am tall, I have a longer body, and so I can hide that plumpness a little bit better than most people can, but people would see me a certain way, and I would see myself as even bigger than I was. Now, the thing about that is that I have in my life, and even up until a couple years ago, touch my stomach a lot. I'm aware of my belt line and my belly hanging over it, right? The fat that's around my waistline. My coach put it really elegantly when he talked about, I would avoid doing cardio because I wanted my arms to be big. And if I did cardio, I could literally feel or if I missed the gym like a day, I could literally feel like the fat or the muscle melting off my arm, and that would freak me out. And I would make sure that I went back in and pumped, even harder the next time I went in. Those are very compulsive things. Doing that kind of behavior, obviously OCD will latch on even harder. And so, I do want to look good. I do not want to be fat. I think being fat is unhealthy, and I think being fat is unappealing. It just is what it is. I'm not like, there's nothing wrong if there are a lot of fat people out there, and that's okay. Some people have issues where they gain weight even though they do everything they can not to gain weight. Not the vast majority of people. Most people that are fat are very undisciplined for whatever reason. Okay, there are a lot of hours in the day. There always is a time for you to exercise in some capacity, no matter what you think. And I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how many kids you have. There is an opportunity for you to exercise in some type of way. There's also a lot of opportunity for you to not eat junk food. A lot of people that are fat don't eat particularly well. They do things that are easy. A lot of people don't understand how to deal with their emotions, stress, and anxiety, and so people put food in their mouth and they do it all day long. I don't want to look that way, but at the same time, if I was for some reason had to gain a whole bunch of weight, I would not agree with that. I would work on accepting it, unconditional acceptance, and that's where a lot of the a lot of the body dysmorphia issues, a lot of OCD, looking in the mirror a lot, is conditional acceptance, right? And we want to have unconditional acceptance. Even if we looked a certain way, we could still accept ourselves, not agree with it. And if we wanted to look a certain way, we could always work on that. So back to the person that made the comment, I avoid looking at myself. So obviously there's a big difference between me saying, stop looking in the mirror to make sure you look okay, and don't avoid looking in the mirror. And this person is obviously avoiding looking in the mirror for body dysmorphia on the other end. Maybe is very, they might have maybe a big nose. Maybe there's something about their face that they don't like looking at because it gives them an uncomfortable feeling. Why? Because they have conditional acceptance about what they look like. They can't unconditionally accept themselves, understanding that this is just a meat suit. The outward appearance really doesn't matter as much as people want to put the emphasis on it. Definitely in our Western culture, there's a lot of emphasis put on the way that you look. It's not as important as people think it is. Eventually, you're going to be old, and skin is saggy and not attractive. You're just not going to be attractive at some point in your life. No matter how attractive of a person you are now, at some point, you're going to be 70, 80, 90 years old, and you're not going to be pretty anymore. I mean, for women, hey, you're still gorgeous. You look gorgeous. Okay, yes, but you definitely are old. Your body looks different. Your body's sagging. Your skin is sagging. You got wrinkles. Okay, you're not the same. You don't look the same, and that's something that you just have to accept, right? It's hard for people with OCD. Accepting aging is a big thing people have problems with, right? I'm getting older. I'm looking different. Like I'm getting, I have gray in my beard. I have gray in my hair. I had somebody comment on one of my posts and say, dude, you're 50 something. And I was like, 50 something? I was like, man, people usually tell me I look younger than I am. I'm sure this person was trying to hurt my feelings, but anyways. But yeah, I had to I did say a couple times to my wife, like making a joke, and I'm not saying like that didn't, like, get in there. I was like 50 something, but I'm going to be 50 something at some point. My wife is 50 something. So is it so bad to be 50 something? No, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that like that didn't affect me to a certain degree, but I also accept, whatever reason that person decided they wanted to say that, they said it. And even maybe I do look like I'm 50 something. So for that person that commented, and basically was telling me, well, you're telling me not to look in the mirror, but I avoid looking in the mirror. So there's a difference. Like I'm saying, don't look in the mirror if you're checking yourself, if it's for vanity, you're taking selfies in front of the mirror, you're taking your shirt up, you're taking a picture of your abs, you're at the gym, right? And you're flexing and stuff like that. All that stuff is a nightmare, especially if you have OCD. There's no reason to ever do anything like that. That's all vanity. That's all to get a certain feeling. That's all very conditional acceptance. Okay. Like I said, if for some reason you had to gain a bunch of weight and those abs were gone tomorrow, how would you feel? A lot of people that would really fuck their lives up. Okay. And I don't want to be in that position. I don't want you to be in that position. But for this person that has a hard time looking in the mirror, obviously the opposite would be true. Like you got to start looking in the mirror and accepting what you see and work on unconditionally accepting what you have and breaking down the fear of getting rejected from what your appearance is. Right. And being able to go, you know what, I can accept that if someone doesn't like me because of my appearance. It's unfortunate. I accept it. I don't like it. But you know what? I can still do my best to accept my life and do my best to enjoy my life no matter what I look like. And there's plenty of examples of people. We know someone specifically who runs her own business. She does like charcuterie boards in Idaho, and not a beautiful lady, has a really weird smile, right? And just people just really annihilate her online. And a lot of it's because she's successful at something and she doesn't look like she should be successful at it because of the way she looks. And people really get on her case about it. And she doesn't care. She just does what she does, right? And here's somebody that doesn't even have, I don't know if she has OCD or not. I'm guessing that she doesn't. I don't think she does, but who's living her life despite what she looks like. And there's many examples of people that have all sorts of different issues, but do their best to live their life. Yeah, so there's plenty of examples of people that are not, what society would deem as attractive and are still living their lives. I mean, look, the reality is that most people are unattractive. Most people are not model, actor, perfect looking athletes. That's a very small percentage of the population. So um, obviously, again, there's a difference between stop looking in the mirror to get that feeling of reassurance that you look good because it makes you feel good to look good. There's nothing wrong with like feeling good about what you look like, but if you're always looking in the mirror to check to make sure that you look good, that is a huge reassurance compulsion. It's got to go. Okay, it's got to go. Whether you have OCD or body dysmorphia, you need to start learning to accept what you look like, no matter how uncomfortable you feel. And for the person that is avoiding looking at themselves in the mirror or their body because they don't like what they see and it makes them uncomfortable, you got to look at it and let yourself feel that way and work on unconditionally accepting what you look like, or else you're going to have a lot of issues with that. It's going to make you not feel very good, and it's going to give you undue distress. And if you have OCD, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. And it's going to cause you to either do compulsions like avoiding what you look like or always needing to check on what you look like, and that will keep you trapped in the cycle. So work towards unconditional acceptance. If you want to know what that looks like, please contact me for one-on-one coaching. Support at peacefullywired.com. I can help you understand what changing and disputing your beliefs is and what developing unconditional self-life and other acceptance is. Join our OCD community, and if you want information on that, please go to my website, peacefullywired.com. Check me out on TikTok or Instagram. You can click the link in my bio, and I'd love to start working with you, all right? See you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and again, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I would love to know what you think about my content. Peace.